Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica, and today we have a very special episode. We'll be imagining a friendly conversation with the legendary actor Robert Downey Jr. Please remember, this isn't a real interview, but it's based on real events and stories from his life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Robert. Thank you so much for joining us in this imagined conversation.
Thank you for having me, Jessica. It's great to be here, even in this creative format.
Let's go back to the beginning. You were born in New York, right?
Yes, that's right. I was born in Manhattan in 1965. My dad was a filmmaker, so movies were always around me from a very young age.
Did your dad influence your interest in acting?
Absolutely. I guess you could say I grew up behind the scenes and in front of the camera. It was natural for me to be curious about film and performance.
What was your first big break in Hollywood?
Well, I had small roles as a kid, but one of my early recognitions came from the film Less Than Zero in 1987. It got people talking about me as a serious young actor.
That must have been exciting.
Oh, it was. But it was also the beginning of a long learning process, both personally and professionally.
Your life hasn't always been smooth. You faced some struggles along the way. What helped you get through the tough times?
Yeah, life had its dark periods. I battled addiction, made mistakes, and hit rock bottom. But with support, recovery, and wanting a better life, I slowly got back on track. It wasn't one big moment. It was a series of choices every day to keep going.
That's truly inspiring. Many listeners can relate to fighting their own challenges. Let's talk about Iron Man. How did that role change your life?
Wow, that role, that was massive. When I first got the part of Tony Stark, I didn't know it would turn into this huge cultural phenomenon. But it did. Iron Man in 2008 was the first film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it changed not just my career, but Hollywood too.
What was it like the first time you put on that Iron Man suit?
Funny story, it felt a bit heavy at first, but as soon as I stepped on set and saw how everyone reacted, it clicked. I knew we were doing something special.
Out of all your films, which one grossed the most at the box office?
Well, Avengers Endgame became one of the highest-grossing films of all time, around $2.8 billion worldwide. That was a moment.
That's incredible!
Yeah, I sometimes still can't believe how big it all became.
Everyone knows Iron Man, but what's your favorite role outside the Marvel Universe?
I'd say playing Charlie Chaplin in Chaplin 1992. It was demanding, tricky, and one of the roles that truly stretched me as an actor.
You received critical acclaim for that performance.
Yes, and it taught me a lot about vulnerability and dedication.
We know you're an actor, but you also have musical interests, right?
Yeah, I released an album called The Futurist in 2004. It was a fun, creative experiment, singing, writing, and expressing another side of myself.
That's really cool. So creativity isn't limited to one form for you.
Not at all. Creativity can appear anywhere. Music, art, film, it's all connected.
If you could give advice to young actors or creatives, what would you say?
Stay curious. Work hard. Don't be afraid of failure. It's just part of the process. And remember, your past doesn't define your future.
Beautifully said. Let's finish with a few quick, fun questions. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Black.
Favorite city you've filmed in?
Rome. Amazing energy and history.
If you weren't an actor, what would you be?
Probably a musician or an artist. Something creative, for sure.
Robert, thank you so much for this imagined conversation. To our listeners, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And keep practicing your English with our podcast.
Thanks, everyone. Keep learning, keep dreaming.
Thank you, dear listeners, for spending your time with us. Now, we want to hear from you. Which famous person would you like us to feature in our next podcast? Write your answer in the comments below. Until next time, keep practicing your English, stay curious, and goodbye.